past 2 years have been tough on us all. Regardless of your age, generation, or creed, we've all been through something life-changing that will be remembered for years to come. The people in this documentary have all been affected by COVID-19 differently, but there are many things that they have in common too. These are the different perspectives of a normal family living in COVID-19 and lockdown.
Hello, I'm Tony Guy.
And I'm Lynn Guy. We're 90 and tied. Well, at first it was really scary, wasn't it? We were quite scared and frightened to go out, but then we started walking every day, but terrified people weren't going to socially distance. We started having food delivered, or our daughter would deliver food for us. I have asthma, so I was, even more scared. But then we got into a routine, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, we did. We've never done so much online shopping before, have we? We have Tesco's delivering, and now we have Iceland as well.
Well, it became a whole different way of living.
Yeah.
Where everything was paid for on card. It was all done by IT. And it was hard to find cash to give a tip to the delivery people throughout the pandemic. And that, because there was no cash involved, was it? So it was hard to give the delivery people a tip in the end.
And I started online banking for the first time. I'd never done that before, so I was quite pleased with myself that I became more savvy with banking and paying for things and ordering stuff and that. So yeah, we'd never really done that before, so that was quite good. I think the worst thing, we've had holidays cancelled, but I think the worst thing was not seeing the family, seeing the children and grandchildren. That was the hardest bit. So we didn't really meet up again until September last year, where we had a get-together in the garden, didn't we? And then I got a bit emotional getting up towards Christmas, thinking how would Christmas go, and we had plans for Christmas, and then that was all cancelled. So I did a bit of crying then, but then I got over it, and we've dealt with it quite well, really, apart from that emotional bit at Christmas. We got a routine. We just get on with it, don't we, really? Go, travelling a bit further away, yeah. And meeting with family and friends as well.
When I drove to Llandudno a few weeks ago, it was the furthest I drove for how many months? Best part of a year, really. To drive 23 mile, and it felt strange to actually drive 23 mile.
Well, from Christmas, just before Christmas to just recently, I hadn't left the town, had I? So
I had the misfortune of having to go into hospital during COVID as well, didn't I? Which was an experience, having to go backwards and forwards as well. And but to be fair, the staff were absolutely brilliant, even though they were worried about COVID as well.
But the thing is, it's being able to use the discipline to do as you're told, so that we can all get through this. So if we all work together, we will. There's always people that don't want to play the game, isn't there? But on the whole, I think if people do their best, we'll get through it.
My name's Caris, and I turned 40 literally a week before the first lockdown in March 2020. I am a mother of 3 and I'm a full-time lecturer in FE. I'm a single parent, and this is how I have experienced COVID-19. So the very first impact it had on me is that for my 40th I'd planned to go to Budapest, paid for it, and just before the lockdown, obviously it was the unknown, so we didn't go, lost our money, and obviously I was a bit gutted, but then we realised the enormity of it. I don't think at first we realised the enormity of it, and then we saw people panic buying and filling up their freezers, toilet rolls, and we started to think this is serious. when they announced that the schools were closing, I think we definitely realised this is absolutely extraordinary. And it was a mixture of emotions. It's been a roller coaster, and I'm sure it's been like that for everyone. At first it was a bit scary, it was the unknown, and then I've got to say it was quite enjoyable. So we were going into spring summer. It was particularly warm 2020. My youngest turned 9, and we walked. We explored our local area. We went to the beach, we went to the woods, we went up the mountain, we went around the lake. And I think that hour-a-day exercise, as it initially was in Wales, just meant so much to us that we completely embraced it and found a new passion. Online teaching was new territory for us, and we pretty much did tutorials, keeping in touch at first, and did what we could. And teaching online this time was very different. Even for my youngest daughter, who turned 10 in March, she was required to engage in homeschooling for the first couple of months, which was quite problematic for me because I was doing live online lessons 4 out of 5 mornings, 4 out of 5 afternoons, and having to balance that with homeschooling left me with some guilt because I felt my child was being let down. I was putting my students first, I was putting my job first, putting horrible histories on. Watch this quietly, mummy's working. My middle daughter doing her GCSEs, stuck in a bedroom. My son doing his 3rd year at uni, stuck in his bedroom. The Wi-Fi slow as anything every time you try and present a presentation or play a YouTube clip. Loved breakout rooms, putting them in breakout rooms so I could run and get a cup of tea. Can't do that when you're in the classroom. But overall it was really stressful, and I really felt like I was letting my children down, trying to balance everything.
Hi, my name's Ella, and my experience with lockdown was mostly good. I enjoyed it because it was hot in the first lockdown and I got time off school and it was a nice breakaway. I didn't mind not having to see people because I don't mind that. And then towards the end I did want to go out, and then so mostly enjoyed the first lockdown, and then all the other lockdowns after that I didn't like because my schoolwork got a lot more serious because I'm doing my GCSEs, and my schoolwork overloaded, and I didn't like that stress of having to do schoolwork at home, and it was bad weather so I couldn't sit outside. It was very boring and I wanted to see my friends. My experience with coronavirus wasn't the best bit, could have been worse because I didn't really suffer. I was just annoyed because I didn't want to isolate. My school got told to isolate, and then I wanted to get a test, so I did get a test just so I could prove that I didn't have COVID so I could go to work and get money. But it turns out I did have COVID. I didn't think I did because I had no symptoms and I was fine. And then a few days later I lost my sense of smell, and that was basically it. I only really got body aches and I lost my sense of smell and headaches, and it was alright. It went by quite fast, but I didn't really like it, and I still don't have my sense of smell now. It comes in handy sometimes and then sometimes it doesn't.